What were we going about?
Nazis built the pyramids, the aliens started the Holocaust. It's just...
We're talking about serial killers today. They're ghosts.
It's only going to get worse from here. Remember those sweatpants back in early 2000s? You know, the ones that the girls would wear all the time with like the stupid sayings of like juicy and sexy.
The juicy ones.
Yeah, you know, I really want to bring those back, but make them my own brand. And I want to put on some stuff on there that is more realistic and lets guys know what they're into and shit, you know. Okay. I mean, what sayings just like, you know, one way or exit only.
Oh, my God.
Or fines may double in the zone. I mean, you never know. You never know. I just feel like that would be a great marketing brand.
I bet some people would definitely buy those.
Yeah, I think they would. But welcome, everybody, to The Calling Couple. I'm your host, Gage.
And I'm Sage.
With my beautiful co-host, Sage. And today we're bringing in part 2 of Live, Laugh, and Red Flags. So yeah, we kind of left off on talking about some good topics on the last episode, and if you guys haven't checked that one out yet, by all means go over there and find part 1 of Live, Laugh, and Red Flags, and we'll also have it at the end of this video for you to click on so you can go catch up, or if you want to go catch up beforehand, do so.
We should have went back and listened to it.
Well, we kind of left it out with polyamory. So
yeah, that is where we left off.
We are going to talk about polyamory, and we're going to be bringing up some things that we've dealt with recently on somebody calling us out for that, and we're going to kind of touch a little basis on it. We're not going to go into too much detail because, but we're just going to kind of go into what that person had said and how we really felt about that afterwards. But before we get started into this topic, if you have been liking our videos, please give us a like. If you want to hear more, give us a subscribe.
Subscribe.
And turn on the notifications for more video content that is going to be coming out as we continue on, because we're not stopping. We're actually having a lot of fun with these.
Yeah.
This will be number...
These keep us sane.
Yeah, this is number 16 that we have, and we got way more content coming.
Oh my gosh, have we done 16 already?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I know,
we need to do something celebratory, like on our 20th episode or something.
I think we're going to be doing a little bit more about us. Do some more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do some more stuff about.
That's kind of what we're doing now.
Kind of, but we're going to get in more depth. We're going to share stories about ourselves then.
I kind of thought that's what we were doing now, but okay.
But if you guys know anybody that would like this show, please, by all means, give us a share. Show us some love, and let other people enjoy what you are getting to listen to. And even if you don't like what we're having to say, you know somebody else that would, well, fucking share it.
You're probably going to like at least one of our episodes.
Yeah, you got at least like one of them. I mean...
Yeah. Some of them are funny, some of them are off topic, some of them are a little out there. But at least one of them, you're going to be like, this is hilarious, I love this.
Yep. So in our last episode, we talked about threesomes and how it's not for everybody.
In the last red flag episode, yeah.
Yeah, in the last red flag episode, we talked about threesomes and how they are not for everybody.
Yeah,
like,
they really
do
aren't.
not make that your go-to to fix your relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not.
If you're doing it to fix a relationship, it's not. It's not gonna. I feel like those are threesomes are definitely for a relationship that is already strong.
Yes, and it's definitely one that you got to talk to your partner about. You really got to talk about the yes and no's that you can and cannot do, or what you're willing to allow and all that. Like, you really have to have a true in-depth conversation, and it can't just be one. It cannot be just one conversation. You got to really dive in there.
Yeah, you're going to have to get embarrassing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, these are things I'm embarrassed about. You have to, like, even if you're down, even this is your idea, right? But there's going to be something about this threesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or any kind of out there sexual situation that you're going to be nervous, uncomfortable. What's that word?
Uncomfortable.
I guess uncomfortable is not it. Okay, there's going to be a situation that you're nervous about or scared about. So you have to talk about that. Like, I'll give you an example of one of mine. See, normally the threesomes, I know a lot of you are going to be like, ooh. No, they're normally my idea. I know a lot of people think like, oh, that must be your husband's idea because he wants 2 women in his bed. Like, no, actually, most of them are my idea. And of course, I'm a woman, so I do have the natural woman scared issue thingies, you know? Like, is she going to be prettier than me? And then I'm just like, that's kind of the fucking point, actually, in my opinion. But, you know, to my husband, of course, that's not it at all. It's just, you know, 2 women in the bed. Period.
Yeah, because now I'm gonna have to try twice as hard to fucking do what I don't normally do. You know, I mean.
Yeah, and that is a concern. You know.
It is, and it's a lot of weight on the guys too. So ladies,
yes,
by
exactly.
all means, listen to them as well because they may sound macho, like yeah, I can handle all this and that. But when you're actually in that situation, it's a lot different.
And for men, I don't care if you are that kind of guy that says, "Oh yeah, I can totally handle that." I want you to be honest and open and say what your concerns are.
Right, and if you have that thought in the back of your mind of like, well, maybe she is better than my wife, all this and that, then maybe you shouldn't fucking do it at all.
Yeah, if you have the thought that maybe you will enjoy this other girl more than your wife, and that thought concerns you, you don't need to be doing this. If it's a possibility of it ruining your relationship with your wife, with your girlfriend, or anything like that, then you don't need to be doing this.
And you don't need to be with that person. If you are having those thoughts and that it is becoming a very growing thought in your mind of like, oh man, do I really want to do this? Or do I really want to be with them? Or any of that? You might as well just say, okay, I can't be with you. I'm not giving you the full consenting it. Not saying that you can't work it out because you can. But if it is something that is continuously on your mind that you just are not sure about, don't put your partner through that. That is not fair to them. It's not fair to you. So don't do that to yourselves or them.
And also, don't let yourself get put through this situation. I want to say ladies, but a lot of, like, in rare situations like mine and my husband's, I don't want to put my husband through this situation. Because if he's not comfortable with the girl we're being with and all that kind of stuff because maybe she has another agenda, because that is a thing. Like the third person you're trying to bring into the bedroom could have an agenda. And you need to know that. And, you know, don't do it to please your spouse. It has to be for the both of you.
Yep. Yeah, because like when we started doing them, it was because you were always into girls and you always wanted that fantasy out. And for me, it was one of those like, yeah, I'd like to experience it because I've never had to do that before. Yeah, we did it
because we both wanted the experience.
Right, and then it was fun for us. So but we also, like we said in our last episode, we talked about that stuff. We did afterwards. We talked to each other about it, like, what did you like, what you did not like, or what made you uncomfortable, like, and if it was to lead up for another one, great. If not, let that be where it is. Like, let the experience lie where it lies. Don't try to be like, well, maybe we should try it again, see if that was a fluke or something that we can change. Because if it was not, if you just weren't feeling the experience, then don't try to force another one because that might be the one that truly damages your relationship.
And we're talking about that particular thing with experience. We've had a bad experience with someone. And we thought maybe it was just a moment, maybe it was a fluke. So we tried again with that same person.
Yep.
And the same thing happened. So we were like, it's the person.
Yes. And then, like you said, it was because that person had her agenda of what she wanted. And when we found out the second time, that's when we were like, no, we couldn't do that again with that person. But we had a severe conversation about it because we wanted to, and not like we were fighting or anything like that, but we had a really in-depth conversation about it of like, okay, we are still open for that experience because we've had multiple experiences with different people and we've really had good times with them, but we couldn't let that one person ruin what we were having fun with other people doing. That's because we sat down and we actually had that deep, in-depth conversation to see like, okay, is this really what we are enjoying or is this what we're doing because we think that's what we should do? And we actually came down to the conclusion that we do enjoy doing that stuff and having those experiences, and it's a lot of fun for us. But we are vetting our people a little bit harder and making sure that they're in it for the experience and not for a particular reason.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that they aren't trying to just please us. You know, like, because, like, oh, we're friends and I want to make you happy. Like, no, if you don't want to fucking do this, then don't. It's not going to ruin nothing for us. You know, no means something to us.
And that is true because, like,
but we need you to tell us no.
And that's the thing, though, is come up with safe words. Or if that person or you guys say no, that's where it stops. Do not try to go further. Do not try to coax the person back in it. If they say no, let it be done. Because you don't realize, like, even if you try to coax them back in after they said no, you're causing them harm and not realizing it in your extent. But if they are, like, dead set of, like, no, I'm just not ready for this, don't try to coax them back in. Be like, hey, you know what? Okay, well, we can talk about this later. Like, we're good. We're done. Don't try to be like, hey, you know, well, if you're not into it, can I still go? No, don't. Because then right there, you just broke the line of trust. And you don't want to do that because now they're always going to have that in the back of their mind of like, yep, yeah, you just don't want to be with me. You want to be with somebody else. And also just really.
And that's a totally different topic.
Yeah.
Which we can get into today.
Yeah, we can. So yeah, if you guys are wanting to experience that stuff, have a good conversation with each other.
Yeah, we're just talking about threesomes. You're still monogamous. You're still with your partner. Mm-hmm. It's called open monogamy.
Yep. And you want to, and like I said, you just really want to have a deep conversation with them because we don't know what you guys are, your preferences or your standards or morals are. Like, you really got to talk to each other about that because no one knows what your relationship is but you need to be completely honest.
Like, honest and open, like keep, like, I know it's gonna sound annoying and all that, but you need to talk about it. You need to know how each other feels about it constantly. And that's pretty much the reason we have such a solid relationship is because we fucking talk about this shit all the time. Like, I'm not saying it's our personality, but we fucking talk about it a lot. It's our, you know, who doesn't want to talk about sex all the time?
Yeah, and I'm lucky enough that I found a bigger perv me to be with. So.
Oh yeah.
But and then there's also polyamory, and that we were touching a little bit about it on the last episode. So we're gonna go into more depth of it today.
Yeah, we'll start small since we started with open monogamy.
Yes.
Which is where you just bring a third person into your your relationship for just like threesomes and stuff. Like, you're not dating anybody. It's with your partner. It's not separately or anything like that. It's just you and your partner and a third person.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's something that we've been asked before too. So you guys are swingers? No.
Yeah, that is different. That is different. That's a totally another tier. I guess we could call them tiers.
Yes, because in a threesome, all parties are there. Mm-hmm. And you are able to control the party. Now, it could be man, woman. It could be woman, man.
If that third person is a swinger, that's on them.
Yes, that is on them. Now, if you, if you're a man and woman trying to have another woman in there and she's like, hey, we're actually swingers. I'd like to bring my husband in. You have every right to say no.
Yeah, you can say no to that and be like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah.
And no thanks. Like, thanks for the invitation, but no thanks. Like, don't be rude. You know, don't be like, oh, no, fuck you guys. No, don't do that.
And now, we are not dissing on the swinger aspect whatsoever, because we've never done that.
Yeah, we've never done it.
But we know people that have, and that they really enjoy it.
It's good for their relationship. And I'm just like, hey, man, you know, to each their own.
Right, like, we're not sitting here saying, like, oh, that being a swinger is fucking horrible. By all means, no, because that works out for thousands of couples out there. It really does.
And I've seen it work. I've seen it, you know, like, strengthen relationships. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing they say is talk about it. Mm-hmm. You know, keep, like, talk about every aspect of it. You know, are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with that? Are you even attracted to that other partner? Like, let's say Gage wants to fuck someone's wife, but I don't want to fuck their husband. But that's the only way it works, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then, even though Gage and the other girl are good to go, it's going to be a no.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good with their husband.
Yep. And vice versa. I mean, it could be.
It could be the other way around too.
And it could. And that's where once that person says no, it's okay. Hey, that's fine. I totally respect and agree with what you're wanting to do, because if you're not into it, I don't want to put myself in that situation or put you in that situation as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we say talk about it, and when a no is a no, let it be a no. Don't fucking belittle the person because they're not into it. That's not fair. That's not right. And honestly, if you're going to go that far, you might as well not be with that person after that, because you've already gone too far.
Yeah.
So that goes on to the fact of threesomes and stuff like that, because no, swinging and threesomes are not the same. But that's where we've actually had people sit there and say, well, Gage and you are polyamory. Yeah, we are. But here's the definition of polyamory. Polyamory is not about sex. It is about finding interest in somebody that you can have that common goal with. And if it became something sexual, great. If not, it's like, a good way to put it is like, me and Sage work out very, very fucking well. Like, we are best of fucking friends.
Oh yeah, we're best friends, lovers, all that good stuff.
But you're not a girly girl.
No.
You're not. You don't like those girly girl little things like I like out of some girls.
Yeah.
No, it's
I don't know how they do that shit.
And it's not my entire personality. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, well, you need to change yourself to be what I want. No, because I love you the way you are.
Yeah.
But, and just like how I'm not a female.
Yeah, you're never gonna satisfy that for me.
Exactly.
Because you're too much manly man for me.
So we look at other people to fill that satisfaction, and yeah,
and you have to be okay with that too.
And you do that, and yet again, you have to talk about that. You have to be completely open and honest about everything about yourself, so that your partner can understand where you're coming from. Because the biggest one that I've heard since we've been polyamory is, oh, so you just allow him to go out and fuck whoever he wants. And no, it's not. That's not how it works at all.
Not at all. No.
No, and that's one thing that will get me to go into a fight. Like, I will fight somebody on that shit, because it's like, dude, you're not just disrespecting me. You're disrespecting my wife. You're disrespecting my relationship. You're disrespecting everything that we have by saying that shit.
They just don't understand, though, is the problem.
And that's I can understand. But if you're gonna say something like that, you better be open to fucking hear the conversation about what you just started. Mm-hmm. Don't be trying to sit here and belittle somebody, because honestly, I would consider that as a hate crime.
You know what? That peeves me about any aspect. If someone doesn't understand it, they belittle it, and that's for any genre of anything. I mean, like, fucking, like, we talk about movies a lot, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Oh, you like Star Wars? So you're a fucking nerd, you know?
No,
you're
I'm
little
a
geeky.
dork. Get it right.
Yeah, I'm saying,
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't get Star Wars, so they belittle Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. And then when they actually take their time and do some research of their own, they're just like, oh, well.
You know what? I like Star Wars, too.
Yeah. You know, I mean, so before you go and hate on anybody, do your own research like we did. We've researched where we are in our relationship and our sexuality and stuff, to where we know, okay, this is what we are. We're not, like, I don't sit here and say, yeah, I'm going out and doing all this crap because I want to just fuck women. No, I'm looking for that little bit of satisfaction that I'm just not fully getting. I'm not saying that I hate my wife and I want to leave her. I'm saying that there's something that she's not able to give me that I would like to have. But at the same time, there's some things that she's looking for that I can't give her. So we look at that and say, okay, well, what if we did find somebody that would fill that for us? Well, then we go from there. We talk about it, and we go and have deep conversations about that person, and also letting that other person know that, hey, yeah, I am who I am, and I'm satisfied where I'm at.
But polyamory is also where it'd be like, it's a just Gage going out with this girl. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not a part of it. You know, mm-hmm. They're dating separately from our marriage relationship.
Right.
That's polyamory.
Right. And
we're like, I don't want to get confused with the fact that some people, like some couples, can date one person together.
Yes, and that's still a form of polyamory, but it's also not. I mean, yeah. It's one of those, like, if you guys are both into it and that third party is too, fucking awesome.
There's some words that are a bit derogatory in that world, like unicorns.
Yes.
Where it'd be like a couple is like unicorn chasing.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of annoying for some people.
It is, because honestly, it scares those people away that are looking for that relationship out of the couple. And they're just like, well, if that's all you're doing, you're not seeing me for me. And
you're just using them as a piece of meat and all that kind of stuff. And that is so not what we're about.
And it makes it harder for the couple that is looking for that unicorn that really wants what they're looking for, that couple can offer. And that couple is not able to do that because other people are scaring them off and making them want to go hide. So it makes it really hard for people that are looking for that fulfillment to get, because they take this term or this person, this entity, and just use it for their own benefit. And then next thing you know, it makes it to where they don't want to do anything, even though that's probably the person we've been looking for, you know. And it makes it hard for us because we wouldn't mind having a girlfriend or anything like that for both of us.
No, that, I'll be honest, that's the ultimate goal right there.
It really is.
To get us a girlfriend. Us.
It really is. And now, so going back to the polyamory deal, like we had somebody recently throw that in our face of, like, yes, I've been out on some dates with other women and stuff like that, and nothing like too extravagant or anything, just like meeting at a bar and stuff like that. Like, nothing, like, I'm not taking them out to movies or anything like that. Like, I'm actually just trying to get to know these
Not that that wouldn't be okay.
No, I'm not saying that it wouldn't.
I mean, that's a part of polyamory is to go on dates.
Right, but in the beginning, it's all about vetting the person, and that's usually where it's at. And yeah, sometimes it has led into a sexual experience and all this and that. But I didn't.
Like a normal date could.
Yeah, but I never hid it from Sage. I never tried to deny anything. I told her everything that happened, everything that went on. And that way she could understand of like, hey, if that person's working out for you, that's great. If not, then, you know, I mean, she helps me with the stuff, and she's gone out on dates with other people. And I mean, it's not like it's just one-sided. And that's where a lot of people see it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get dirty a little bit with it. Mine always ended sex.
And they
His
really
don't.
do.
He's all like romantic and shit and wanting this like to please this little girl and all that kind of. Not little girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those dainty bitches that I'm not.
Thank you for clarifying.
I'm sorry. I said little girl. That's not what I meant.
No.
Those little cutesy freaking girly girls. That's the word, girly girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not one of those, and I'm not. I mean, like, sure, yeah, they're fucking adorable. They're cute as hell, but that's not what I'm after, and then that's not what I am.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what you want. So you like to go do the whole like the dates and the bar and stuff like that, and like please a woman, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm over here like, let's fuck, baby.
One of the stories that you had that cracked me up the most was that you went out on a date with a girl and you ended up having a threesome with some random girl.
Oh yeah, some random girl came over to us, and we were both talking to her and all that kind of stuff, and so she just sat with us for the whole fucking night, and then I'm the only sober one, so I'm driving everybody home, and they're like, hey, let's go up to the apartment and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, cool, yeah, we'll like do some more shots or some shit, you know. And of course, you know, I'm feeling like I gotta get lucky with this girl I'm out here on a date with, so I at least gotta have some fun with her. And then I get up there, and then they both just start taking their clothes off, and I'm just like, ooh, ooh. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and am I jealous? Sure, because I wasn't there for the experience, but I'm happy for you that you were able to fucking do that. Like,
yeah, I told you all the details. You're good.
But the one thing that the person said to me was like, oh, you're okay with him just going out and fucking and
as long as he's okay with me doing it, yeah.
Going out there sleeping with all these people and all this and that. But the thing is
I was like, all these people.
When you do something like that, you need to understand that you're gonna have fingers pointing right back at you, because that person that said that to me is a piece of shit, cheating on his old lady, doing all this other crap. Like, you don't have the consent like we do. You can't be pointing that out and trying to throw that at somebody's face when you're not the one.
Yeah. Have you? Ow. I'm talking to you, but the audience can listen.
Yeah.
But have you ever noticed the people who have accused us of cheating on each other
are the ones
who have cheated on their spouses?
Yeah.
I'm just like, is it cheating if your spouse knows about it, has consented to it, and is sometimes doing it with you?
Yeah.
I'm just like, is it cheating if they're there too? That's not cheating. Your husband's only doing this so he can have a legitimate excuse to cheat on you. I'm there with him. How is that cheating?
Yeah.
That was before we did the separate
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying though. Is like if you're gonna call somebody out on their shit, make sure that you are clean before you fucking try to throw somebody out there. Because as soon as he said that, we threw it right back in his face in front of his spouse. Of, well, you're the one cheating on her. Like you can't fucking be sitting here saying that shit because we have consent and you don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, just be careful before you start pointing fingers.
But and here's the reason why we talk about polyamory is because people have asked us like why, and the real reason is because we look for something that we're not able to offer each other out of a person's personality.
Yeah,
it's not about sex, because if you're using polyamory as the excuse to go sleep around,
that is not polyamory.
Yeah, you are just straight up cheating. Like don't be fucking doing that, because honestly, people that are in the polyamory community fucking hate that, because you make it harder for us to actually claim that title, to get people to see like, hey, we genuinely are looking for that person's personality trait that we are missing. Not like if it ends in sex, great for you, but if it doesn't, or if that's all you're looking for is sex, it's called hookers. You can go you can go find a prostitute, because we're trying to legalize it, but at the same time,
legalize prostitution.
Yeah. But don't be using that title for your own benefit, because if that's not what you're really looking for and you are just not happy with your relationship, don't say you're polyamory trying to go around fuck people.
Yeah, that's a sneaky thing to do.
It is. It's sneaky, snaky, and it's bullshit. Now, Sage knows every single girl that I've been on a quote-unquote date or vetting.
I know of, I do not know them.
No, you don't know them. And that's where I tell you everything. I don't hide a goddamn thing from you. And that's what people need to understand, is that I'm not a sneaky motherfucker. I pride myself on being very honest and open. And that's where you guys are, if you guys are even considering anything about this, that's where you need to be. Completely open and honest with each other on both sides. Do not just sit there and be like, oh yeah, that's great. Well, are you into it? Sure. And you're not. You got to be willing to tell them everything. Get down to your deepest, darkest secrets. If you start to open up and they start to belittle you or fucking shut you down, maybe you need to rethink your relationship with that person, because that's very toxic. You need to be able to be completely open and honest with that person, and know that they're not going to use it against you or throw it in your face or any of that kind of shit.
And you don't have to be mean. You can be nice about all this stuff. Like, if you're uncomfortable, you need to come forward with that. Maybe you're not comfortable coming forward with how uncomfortable you are in that particular moment. But as soon as you and your spouse are comfortable, you need to talk about it gently. Because if you don't talk about it as the very next moment you are comfortable with each other, it's going to build up.
Yes.
And then by the time you do actually get to talk about it, it's going to be very poisonous. Don't let it stew. Don't let it get toxic.
Yep.
Like, talk about it quickly, because we've had moments where we went into it, we were all three comfortable, and it got uncomfortable mid motion.
Yeah.
Like, things happened that were not comfortable. You didn't say it. We didn't say it right away, because it would have made the whole situation awkward, and we didn't want to make them feel awkward.
Yeah, because you want to take care of them too. You don't want to make them feel like they were a piece of meat, or they aren't welcomed, even though you invited them into this.
It was actually the other way around. We were invited into it. We were at their house, and it got uncomfortable in the middle. Things happened in between, and I was very uncomfortable. My feelings got hurt.
Oh, yes.
Thank God.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
It was the worst one ever, and you didn't remember.
Sorry. Yes, no, I see where you're coming from on that, because, yeah, that was very awkward, very uncomfortable, and all that kind of stuff, and, no.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it wasn't a good moment to talk about it right then.
No.
But as soon as we got in the car to go home, I talked about it immediately.
Yep. And here's something else for you guys. Like, if you guys are going to talk about it, it is okay to stop and come back to it later. Like, you don't have to try to talk about it all at once. You can sit there and say, hey, you know what, I just need to stop. Because it gives you some time to really think about what the person's saying. That way, when you come back to it, you can sit there and try to understand and be a part of it.
And also, if your spouse comes to you about something very uncomfortable, and it has been a few weeks or maybe months, don't yell and say, well, why didn't you say something then? Yeah. Just listen. Be comfortable. Just talk to each other. They're not blaming you. They're just telling you how uncomfortable they were in that moment. And you say, okay, how can we fix that if we decide to ever do this again?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Like, don't just be like, oh, well, fine, fuck it, we'll never do it again then. Don't be like that. Be like, let's fix, I'm sorry you were uncomfortable. How can we fix this for next time if we decide to ever do it again? If we decide to ever do it again.
Right.
If it was that uncomfortable. If they're like, hey, I was a little uncomfortable about this. I'd rather that not happen next time.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, okay, well, let's see what we can do to make sure that never happens again. Or if they come like, I was devastated, I was humiliated, I never want this to happen again, I don't even know if I want to do this again. Because that's kind of where I was. Like, it kind of ruined almost everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about it. He made me feel very validated for my feelings. He felt bad about it. Like, he didn't do anything, but he treated it as if it was him that had done it. That's how comfortable he tried to make me feel. And then, like, we fixed it, and then it's over, you know? I don't feel that way anymore. It was on them. It wasn't on me. Yep. So I feel a lot better about that. Because we fucking talked about it.
Yep.
And not just once. We talked about it over and over again.
Yes, we did. And that's the thing, though, is what they always say, communication is key of a relationship. Mm-hmm. And if you can't be communicative. Yeah, communicative. If you can't be talkative with each other.
There you go.
If you guys can't talk with each other about things, then why are you together in the first place? And here's a bigger thing with polyamory and stuff like that. If you are trying to hide your phone, if you're trying to hide messages or trying to hide the fact that you're talking to somebody on the side, you're cheating. Okay?
Where does that feeling come from? No, I'm not asking you, because we don't do that. But I'm saying, like, think about where that feelings come from. If you are in a polyamorous relationship, your spouse knows you are. Why are you hiding these messages?
Yeah. No, you don't have to tell your spouse everything that you guys are talking about.
Because I don't want to hear every fucking thing he talks about with this fucking girl. I mean, like he said, she's a girly girl. I'm not. I did not want to hear how adorable this little pink frilly fucking thing was on her. Okay, I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You guys are stupid. I don't want to hear that. I'm bored out of my mind. And he's all like, you're so cute. And I'm just like, stop. You're disgusting right now. Hand me a beer.
It's more like, hand me the whiskey.
Yeah, definitely. I don't drink beer. Beer's disgusting. Give me the whiskey.
But no, and that's the thing, though, is like, if you are trying to hide it from your spouse, even though they know everything about it, or if they don't know about it, you are cheating. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because if you're willing to hide it, you might as well say, babe, we're not good together. This person's satisfying me better or giving me something that I want that you are never able to give me. I gotta go. Mm-hmm. Break it off. Do not drag them through that, because then you're just really ruining someone's life by doing that shit.
That is a concern. Let's say that's even a concern for mine. Mm-hmm. Of mine about polyamory. You like, me and you are married, and I'm your spouse. Am I number one?
Oh yeah.
And see, in a lot of people's relationships, polyamorous, your spouses or your people you're dating are supposed to be equal.
Yes. Now, but that's also okay. So
yeah, see, that's a tough one. That's something that
no. I can explain that real easily.
Oh, okay.
Because none of my dates or anything have gone any further than maybe a week or two. Mm-hmm. Like, we just didn't see eye to eye about something, so we just kind of broke it off. Now, if it was starting to become more serious and serious and serious as it goes, then yes, it would be one of those like, hey, I mean, I gotta equalize the board a little bit here to make it fair for everybody, because you want it to be fair. But at the same time, at the end of the day, your spouse should be the number one person that you have. Like, you can have feelings for somebody else, but at the end of the day, your spouse should always be number one.
Yeah. And we don't mean like always. Listen. This is where I'm getting at. Like, me and you, it hasn't gotten to the point that I need to be concerned or anything, because you haven't loved any, you haven't fallen in love with any of your dates yet.
Right.
And you're in love with me. Me and you are in love. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm not worried about any of my poly relationships, because I'm in love with you. I'm not in love with any of them.
Right.
But if it gets to that point, and like you said, you have to equalize the board.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you, we constantly talk about stuff.
Yep.
So I'm going to see it coming. A lot of times I see it coming before you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, we need to start equalizing the board now. The reason polyamory works for us so well is because I need fucking space.
Mm-hmm.
I am a girl that does not need my needy husband up her ass all the time. And it's not because he needs me to please him, but he needs to be needed. Like, he needs to take care of something. Mm-hmm. Like a man, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't need that in my fucking life. I'm good. I got me, you know?
Yeah.
So, but you need a woman that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And we were finding that.
No, like I can explain that really, because there was a person that I was taking on dates and like, or not really dates, but I was trying to do all this lovey-dovey stuff with her because she.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. And yeah, you did a few dates.
Yeah, a couple of dates, but I mean, like I was really trying to give a lot into her and try to get something out of it. And, I mean, I was trying to show her that I was willing to be the man that she was looking for and also be able to spoil her whenever she was wanting it.
Yeah, and it wasn't just dates and stuff. Like, she genuinely just hung out with you.
Yeah, hung out with me and do stuff like that and, like, weird laugh, joke, all this and that. But then you saw it before I did. I mean, you saw that I was really catching feelings for the... Cool.
I mean, we hung out, too, so...
Yeah, and that's where it sucked was the fact that she became real bitter at the end. And, like, because you were telling me, like, well, you're doing all this for her and she's not giving you a damn thing back. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I tried really hard to fucking make it work. I tried to show her, like, hey, you know, this is a guy that you've been fucking saying you wanted and I am that guy naturally. Like, what's the fucking problem? And then it got to the point where she kind of started throwing shit back in my face and I just, like, you know what? I can't do that because that's not fair to me after... me trying to be that.
You fell for that one pretty hard.
But, I mean, I never put her ahead of you.
Oh, yeah, you never.
Like, I always made sure that...
I think I tried to more than you did.
Yeah, I mean...
Because we'd be at the store or something. And I would see something. And I'd be like, oh, she would fucking love this. And you're just like... well, what do you like? Let me buy you something. And I'm just like, oh, don't be silly. Buy this for her. She'll love it.
Yeah, but even if I bought something for her, I'd still buy you something.
Oh, yeah, you would. I know.
Or I would take you somewhere and shit.
Yeah, but
like
I didn't
that.
like those girly things that she did.
No, but I would find a way to make it up to you as well. You know, if I'm gonna spoil one, I'm spoiling both. You know.
Oh yeah.
And that.
But you'd be like more catered to what I like and more catered to what she liked.
Mm-hmm. And that's what sucked is because she was not willing to communicate with me about like, hey, I'm wanting to get back with my ex, all this and that, and just kept leading me on. And then finally, whenever I found out, she wanted to throw shit back in my face, and I said, okay, that's the way you want to fucking be.
Like, it could have been cool. It could have been, but her ex wasn't polyamorous, so.
No. But no, like that's where I would say like, you don't put your spouse in front of somebody. You just try to make it equal across the board because that's what you were doing.
Not at the beginning.
Not at the beginning. No, you want to try to take it slow and all that kind of stuff.
Like your spouse is the most important,
mm-hmm.
And as long as you keep your communication key and all that, and your spouse is still comfortable with your relationship, and everyone's comfortable, you can start making them more important, and eventually, if you start feeling the same way for your new partner as you do for your spouse needs to know that too and be comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, I see that's the tough part for me, because I'm just like, let's say you and her did work out.
Yeah.
And I decided not to be comfortable with it. How is that fair for you two? You've fallen in love.
Well, and that's where
that's a tough one for me.
Well, that's where all parties need to understand that, hey, if someone calls it off, it's it. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just not going to go anywhere. Hold on.
Okay.
Or that's where the people that are in the relationship and stuff need to figure out as well. Like if I was to fall for that person and I was starting to realize that
mm-hmm.
I was not getting the love or I'm no longer in love with you, I would have to come and tell you, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, that's the tough part. See, that's where spouses get scared
mm-hmm.
of polyamory. Is like, I'm your wife, and you start dating a girl,
mm-hmm.
and you start falling for her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with you being in love with another woman. And I'm just like, I think you two need to break up. That's not fair for you two.
It's not. But,
yeah, but like, you know, from a point of view of an uncomfortable spouse, that would be very fair because I was here first.
Right. But that's also where you got to look at it is like, is this relationship truly worth throwing away everything that you've already built to
mm-hmm.
continue
mm-hmm.
on? Or is it something that you're like, you know what? it was fun. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna
Yes.
suck. But
I'm breaking up with my wife to be with my new girl. But be careful, because are you doing that because it's new?
Yes, that's where I was leading with
Yes,
that.
I knew that's where you were going with it. Are you doing this because it's new and exciting, and eventually you and her are probably going to you and her might break up eventually,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have no girlfriend, and your wife that you love so much, you've broken her heart, and she's gone.
Yep.
And so since you've already done that, she'll be scared that you'll do it again, so you're probably not getting her back.
And yet again, that's where you got to have conversations. You got to talk, and you really got to dig down deeper yourself to see where you're at. Like with me, if it was still so fresh and new, I would break it off. It would hurt. I'd probably be in a depression for a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to throw away everything that I've worked so hard to build, of not just my life, but with my wife and my relationship and everything that I have.
Mm-hmm.
That's where some guys need to understand that, of like, hey, and like you said, if it's new and fresh and it's exciting, that is going to mislead you a lot of times.
Yeah.
Speaking from personal experience, it misled me to where I thought this person was really into me, and come to find out she was willing to fucking treat me like dog shit.
She was just getting shit out of you.
Yep, and I wasted a lot of time on her when I could have been giving it to somebody that actually fucking wanted it.
Yeah.
And it's not like you didn't want it, because I was giving it right back to you. Like,
Oh yeah, I got all I wanted out of it.
yeah. So, and that's.
I actually think when you're dating somebody, I get more.
You do, because
Like when it's just me and you, we're just two homies hanging out. But when you're dating somebody, I'm like, I get affection, I get presents, I get date nights.
Okay, hold on. You're making that sound like I don't do that already, because I do. I give you love, affection, not treats, but give you presents.
Love, affection, and date nights. I didn't say treats.
I know, but you're making it sound like I don't do that already. Like,
Oh yeah, we do it like normally. I'm saying I get more when you're dating somebody.
yeah, because I feel the need.
You go overboard.
Yeah, because I feel the need that if I'm doing this for somebody else, I need to give that same stuff back to you, but in what you would like. And
I know, and I'm all like, babe. Sorry, I clapped. I'm like, babe, I love you so much, but I don't need this. If I did, you wouldn't be needing to date other people. Like, this is the whole point of you dating other people,
yeah,
is to go spoil some little girly girl. Like, you don't need to come home and do it again to me, because I'm like, I'm good, dude. The whole point, I told you to get out there and go find you a girlfriend.
But yeah, I mean, and that also goes back to, if you're going to be doing the polyamory and you're going to be dating other people, hey, watch out for them fucking red flags, because I didn't and I should have.
Yeah.
And
Hey, no, man, I
sucked.
fell for it too, man. I was so happy for you. I was happy for her. I loved her. She was great.
Yeah.
It could have been good. Could have
So
been great.
just be cautious out there, and just watch out for the warning signs. Watch out for toxic traits, and if you're putting in so much and they're not giving anything back, break it off, man, because it's not worth it. It's really not. So just be careful out there. But honestly, with polyamory, yeah, I mean, it works for us. It does okay. Like, yeah, we do have arguments. We do have things.
Yeah, there's times we don't agree with each other. That's why we're saying we talk about. They're saying we communicate all the time. We talk about it all the time, because we don't always agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
If we agreed on everything, we were just like, yes, all the time, yes, we wouldn't be talking, would we?
Exactly. Like, we would actually have to.
Like, the reason we talk so much is because we don't agree on everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, is like, we've had people sit there and say, well, you guys just seem so perfect, all this and that, because we do talk, and we do have arguments. We do still talk about and argue about things that we do on a daily basis. We're not perfect, but we try to work through them to make it to where it's beneficial, or we come to a complete agreement that it's not going to work. And
yeah, we have arguments all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk them out until they're not arguments anymore.
Yep. We try to, and we also take breaks. We come back to it. We round back to it to, like, hey,
like, you know what? We're just not in the right mindset to fucking talk about this. Like, let's just go to bed.
Right. And that's something that you guys got to take in consideration. I mean, it's not for everybody. So please don't take what we're saying and go and fucking apply it to your relationship, because.
Oh yeah. We're like, you can apply some of it, but we're saying don't do us word for word, because you're not us. Just remember that, okay?
Mm-hmm. You're not us. And
this works for us. You might take some bits and pieces of what we're doing, and it might work for you.
Mm-hmm.
But do not copy paste.
Yeah, I mean, and And if you're a girl out there looking for a wonderful, like, little witchy woman, there's Sage right here that will...
Yeah, I'll take care of you, baby.
Yeah, she's got a mommy complex that she loves using. She loves utilizing that mommy complex. And
I do, yeah.
And I'm a guy that likes to be romantic and spoiled.
That's literally our issue right there, is that we both need to take care of somebody, but it's annoying to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, we're both, like, it's weird. We're both like that mommy daddy couple, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're that providing couple.
Yeah.
We like to provide the comfort, care, and all that people are looking for, but we want to do that stuff, but at the same time, we don't want them to look at us like a mommy and daddy.
Oh yeah,
like,
Oh yeah. Okay. My bad. Do not call him daddy. He don't like that.
Mm-mm.
There's only 2 people that got to call him that, and that's our actual children.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that.
He is not into that. Do not come at him with that.
But no, I mean that's the thing though, is like we are people that want to find somebody that is looking for that out of someone, to give them that love and relationship and all that kind of stuff, and that's what we like to do. But it doesn't work for everybody, so please don't try to fucking take what we say and use it for yourself, thinking, oh, well, Gage and Sage said that it works.
Yeah,
so
Gage and Sage said to do that, so that's what we're doing. That's not communication.
No, it's really not, because if you're going to take everything that we're saying and just immediately apply
we
everything
have the cult
that we're
for you.
And now a word from our sponsors.
And now a word from our sponsors. Ladies, have you ever been hurt, abandoned, lied to, and mistreated?
Are you looking for a place of acceptance, security, and stability?
Then look no further than the women of knowing eternity.
At Woke, you will be protected, loved, and adored.
Here, you can become the gypsy, princess, hippie, or witch you have always dreamed of being.
Get the attention, adoration, and family you've always craved.
Escape the noise and toxic nature of society and build a life of tranquility.
Own the power you have within yourself and become woke.
To find out more, leave a comment below and get woke today.
But no, honestly, just be careful out there, guys. And if you really are thinking about this kind of stuff, talk to your partner and really discuss it.
And look it up, you know, like, get some good information. That's what we did. We didn't do it at first. We really should have.
Yeah, we really should have.
Because, like, we called ourselves everything before we got to polyamory.
Yep, because we were like, open relationship. Well, we're not really open. We're not really doing any of that. And then,
then we tried to be like, oh, maybe we're swingers. Well, I don't want to fuck no one's husband, so we're not that.
Right. So, I mean, guys, just do your research, do your talking, and just really take your time on finding that person that you are looking for. And if they're not giving back to what you were giving in, break it off. It's better to break it off than trying to drag yourself and your relationship and your family through it and all. And
just remember that third person, who is not like your dynamic, your marriage dynamic, your girlfriend-boyfriend dynamic. Remember
or
that,
your boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah, either way. Just remember that other person is a person. They're not a piece of meat. Don't treat them like one.
Yep.
They're not just some toy you can play with, unless they want to be. And in that case, hey, my name is Sage. You can be my toy. Come here.
But no, honestly, like just look at them as a human being too, and try to treat them the same way, and just live life. Like don't ruin what you have, and don't fucking try to take or add more to what you don't need to. Like,
yeah, don't make things a big deal, man.
Yeah, just really.
As long as you keep communication solid, nothing's a big deal.
And honestly, guys, if you want to do threesomes and stuff, by all means, talk to your spouse about it and figure out exactly what you want. Does your husband want another man in there for him? Or does your wife want another woman in there for her? Like, you really got to break it down. Or would you like to see your wife be fucked by another man and you sit in the corner, or vice versa?
I'll be honest, man. I love watching Gage fuck another woman. It's hot.
But I mean,
and when he's done, I get to.
But those are things that we have talked about, and that's why I'm bringing them up, is because those are things that we have discussed. It's not something that we threw off the table because we were like, well, no, we might want to discuss this. Now, a lot of it we haven't done because we were like, nah, that's just really not us. But we talked about it. We got down and dirty to really fucking...
Yeah, we got down and dirty and talked about things that we're not even interested in. Mm-hmm. Because we needed to talk about it to see if we might be.
Yep. And
after talking about it, situation-wise, we're like, you know what? That does not sound nice. I do not want to do that.
Mm-hmm. And also for the straight couples out there, and if you're single and all that kind of stuff, hey, like we said in our last episode, we are not condoning anybody to find a relationship where they're just like, oh yeah, he's my Joker and she's my Harley and all that. Don't base your fucking relationships off of people on social media or movies or any of that, because they're not real. They're not real to you. They don't need to be real to you because they are just fantasies.
You and your significant other are real. Okay? You are you to their them.
Yep.
Okay? So talk about shit.
And try to watch out for those toxic relationships and toxic traits and red flags. Really look for them red flags. And if you see those red flags, talk with somebody else about them and really try to be like, hey, is this worth it or not? And if they tell you it's not, please listen to them. Yeah, don't put yourself through that.
I've got one. I got one for you.
Okay.
What if I am into something and want to do something and you're just like, hell to the nizzy?
Well, that would also depend on the situation. I mean, everything has a...
we've talked about it. I don't know if we should actually say what they are or not, though, to make you uncomfortable. I'm comfortable with talking about it.
What?
Oh, I want to have a femboy in the bedroom.
Oh.
I'm saying like things that, like, you know what I mean? Like things that I want to do, want to experience, and you're just like, I'm very uncomfortable with that. No.
Well, that's where... Yet again, you have to go back to conversating and really fucking dig down deep of your own self to figure out if you're comfortable with it or not, and if you're willing to try it or say no.
It was something I really wanted.
Yes.
And you were just like, I'm very uncomfortable with that. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're not comfortable with it. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
But that also...
That's the hard part.
That also means this, that... You may be uncomfortable with it right now, but doesn't mean that later on you might just be like, you know what, fuck it, let's just give it a go and see where it goes from there. It's not a dead set, like it's over if you're talking about it, because you may change your mind later on down the road.
What I'm getting at is, don't throw a fit if they're not comfortable with it.
Yes.
Well, fine then. I'll just never talk about this again. No, don't be like that, man. Just be like, okay, you're uncomfortable with that, and in your head go, for now. Say that in your head. Don't say that out loud. You might piss them off.
Right. But also, like if you're having conversations and it's starting to get heated, depending on your conversation, don't go have sex, because that might actually be very, very bad for your relationship, because you might be talking about like, oh, I'd like to bring in your friend Sydney and all this and that. And then you guys are getting heated and you want to go have angry sex. Well, that's not good, because now
she thinks you were thinking about Sydney.
Yes. So you want to pick your battles of that, of when you want to have angry sex. If you're going to have angry sex, please let it be something other than anything sexual activity wise whatsoever, because then it saves you a little bit more than dealing with the other person or both parties thinking that it's just not meant to be, when it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. That's why you talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I know some people that have used angry sex to fix their relationship, and that's really a red flag as well. Like, don't try to do that. Like, that's not a healthy trait to have.
Well,
no.
Me and you have had plenty of angry sex, and it was very nice.
Yes, but
I was not mad afterwards.
No, I'm not saying... a lot of our angry sex was over, like, bills and how we're going to fucking get through shit and all that kind of stuff, and we're mad about that. Mm-hmm. But it was never, like...
About another person.
Yeah, it was never about that, because if it was about that, then all of a sudden you're not going to fucking trust me anymore. You're going to think I'm thinking of that person. Yeah, so that's where I'm boiling down to. Like, if you're going to have angry sex, please make it non-sexual when you do it.
Yeah, if you're angry about sex, don't have sex.
Yeah.
If you're mad about something random, then yeah, sex can sometimes make things better, because maybe you weren't as mad, maybe you were just pent up.
Now, a good thing that I would suggest is talk about this stuff after you've had sex, and both have climax, not just one side. Because if she doesn't get off, then you go to talk about that stuff, she's just going to sit there and be like,
I don't know. Don't talk about it directly after sex, because then she'll be, once again, oh, so you were thinking about Sydney while we were having sex just
No. I'm saying, like, after you guys have had sex, give it like 15 30 minutes down the road to where you guys can calm down from what you just had and be like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if we threw this in there or did something like this to spice it up.
You don't instantly throw in Sydney.
Yeah, like
you know what would be fun? We should like experiment around in the bedroom.
Yeah, like, be like, you're dipping your toe in that water without diving all the way in.
Yeah, don't dive head first, man. Like, get in there gently. Kind of, I don't want to be manipulative, but kind of make it their idea.
Kind of.
You know, like, see if maybe they were thinking about it too.
Yeah, but the reason why I said after sex is because, and both have climax, is because now you have a fresh head to think of. You have a clear mind to really...
Yeah, I do.
You have a clear mind to really sit there and be like, okay, it's not about the sex because we just had sex. That's out of the way. So, yeah, what if we did do something like this? And that's why I say, guys, fucking get your woman off if you want to actually talk about stuff like that, because she's not going to be pent up. She's actually going to be like, you know what? That's not a bad deal.
Okay, so what do we do for the guys who come quickly in a threesome?
Oh, okay. So now that is a predicament, really, because I'm not going to deny I've had that happen to me twice, and that was very awkward. But here's how you can do it. If you are having a threesome, depending on it actually doesn't matter. No matter how, if it's a man, woman, man, like, it doesn't matter. If you are the guy and you get off quickly, let them have some fun. Let them continue it.
Watch.
Yeah, watch. Go to the bathroom. Go look at yourself in the mirror and take a few breaths. Splash water on your face. Do whatever you got to do, and just enjoy the moment.
Don't take too long, though.
Yeah, don't take too long, but kind of psych yourself back into it and don't overthink it. You overthink it, you've kind of ruined the mood.
Yeah, don't be like, over. Oh my God, I can't believe I came so quickly. How embarrassing, blah, blah. No, they expected it. It's okay. Move on. Yep. Let's go round 2.
And what you do is you go take yourself a breather, come back in, stick your dick in the girl's mouth and fucking, or a guy's mouth, whatever you want to do it, and fucking get yourself back up and go again. Like, really get back into the experience of it. So don't let that ruin your moment, because it is not uncommon for that to happen. So guys, quit acting like it does.
I'm gonna let you know it is going to happen. If it's your first one, you're excited. There's 2 girls in there. There's another guy and a girl in there. I don't care. Somebody is coming too soon, but it's okay because you got 2 other people. They'll hype you back up too.
Yep.
You know, say like, oh, like as soon as you come, be like, okay, I got the first one out. Let's get ready for another one.
Yeah, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. You know, like,
hype it up like you did it on purpose. You know.
Yep.
Even if you didn't, inside your head, you're like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Play it off, man. It's okay.
Yep. Play it off.
We're having sex. Cum is kind of a part of it.
Yep. Just enjoy it and be like, okay. And then when you come back in there, fucking, you're gonna last way longer. So get your ass in there and fucking rock their world. You know, like, fucking enjoy it.
So I don't know who needs to know this prep stuff and all that, but like have a towel and some water bottles beside your bed if you think maybe that's gonna happen that night. Because even if it don't, at least you and your spouse have a towel and water bottle.
Yep. Yeah, because even if it's not gonna happen, you're still setting yourself up for you to have it happen with your spouse. You know, like don't sit there and fucking think like, oh well, I kind of made myself look like an idiot because I got this shit set out and it's not going to happen. No, like, you know what? I'm still going to seize the opportunity. We're going to fucking use that towel, make it soaked, and we're also going to fucking need that bottle empty because we're going to need to hydrate because we're going to be fucking for a while.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And, you know, same if you're that single person and you got 2 friends over. Still, just be prepared, you know?
Yep. And always wrap it up.
Oh, always.
Please wrap it up. If you haven't listened to our first episode, we really push that. Wrap it up. Be safe. Because you just never know. All right? You don't want to take a chance of ruining your life or someone else's life because you, like, oh, he loses the feeling. So fucking what? Just wrap it up. I don't give a fuck. Wrap it up. Yep, wrap it up. Be safe. Honestly, I think I've reached my point on this one. I think we're kind of done with this topic. We can talk about other sexual stuff later on.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of stories if anybody wants that podcast.
Yeah, if you want to hear some of our sexcapades,
we could tell you some great graphic stories. We love talking about this shit, man. We're very sexual people. Yeah. We like to talk about our sex life.
If you haven't heard any of the other podcasts, I'm a very big pervert, and so
huge perverts.
So we do enjoy this. So if you'd like to have an episode where we do talk about some of our sexcapades, by all means, leave us a comment down below. Or if we reach 50 likes, we will do an episode on that.
Yeah, if this one gets 50 likes, hell yeah. I'll be like, okay, the audience has spoken.
Yep. So, other than that, I'm really kind of tapped out on this subject. So.
Oh yeah, no round 2, baby.
Oh, that's gonna be round 2 after the mics are turned off. So. Other than that, I've said what I said, and if you guys really want to leave us some stories of your incidences, you don't have to leave them in the comments below. You can send us an email at thecallingcouplepod, pod@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us an email of your stories
or your concerns or what you think, or if we can help you on going about something.
If you got questions, concerns, or anything like that, hit us up. Or if like maybe you're going through a situation and you're like, well, how would you guys handle this, or how have you handled it in the past? You just hit us up and we'll tell you what we would have done. But like we said before, don't word for word us.
Because we're not professional psychiatrists or therapists.
And you're like, you and your spouse might just be different than us. Like we're different people, so it might not work. Mm-hmm. It's like, and the biggest person you need to talk to about all this is, once again, your spouse. Mm-hmm. If you're a single person and you're looking to like try dabble in this world and all that kind of stuff, and like you can hit us up too. Like we'll see if you can. But like I said, we're a couple, so we're not really experienced in the whole like how you would go about doing this.
Right, but we can at least set you on the right
course
to
the
go
right
about
path,
it.
the right websites, the right dungeons.
But just leave us an email if you want to stay anonymous. If you want to leave us a comment down below, that'd be great. But hey, give us a share. Let your friends hear about this and hear about us and see if they like us and all. And that's really where I'm gonna leave it. So if you're out there living life, live it to your fullest. Be safe and don't try to cause any harm to anybody. But fuck it up, Buttercup.
If you do, I don't give a fuck. Good call.